I am concerned that there needs to be some very strong guidelines put in place. In fact, further than guidelines, some further restrictions into how that money is being used by the EDO. In particular, I note the concern I have that many protesters who are undertaking very illegal activity, tying themselves to train tracks and stopping economic vandalism, stopping people from undertaking their work, affecting the timber industry, the forestry industry, really affecting the regional communities and the jobs that they heavily rely upon. I note that there is a push by the EDO and the Greens to push through changes specifically to try and amend and change the laws that were passed in April of 2022 in relation to the decision by the then former Liberal government and, of course, by the Labor opposition to impose some very tough fines, up to $22,000 and up to 2 years in jail for a certain type of protests. And it's important to understand that some of that the Supreme Court has partially ruled was constitutionally invalid, and I accept that, but not in its entirety. And it's important that that the government stay strong, and I encourage the Premier to stay strong in relation to not listening to any of his weak-minded caucus members or indeed left-wing stakeholders like the Human Rights Law Centre and others trying to push through this idea that those type of laws are invalid, because they're not. Can I just add, it's important to remember also that some protests do end up endangering people's lives. They actually endanger the lives of emergency personnel as well and first responders. And we can see right now, even though there is no actual express right to protest in New South Wales, there are plenty of people relying upon the implied political freedom under our Australian Constitution, and people are protesting every week, every couple of days in New South Wales. And it's okay if they do so peacefully, but it's not okay when they're hurting other people or damaging property or indeed stopping people from working.